Hey everyone, welcome back to Michael Draco. Today, during a live press conference, Donald Trump once again did something that leaders should never do, especially when the people around them are already uneasy. He openly attacked the very individuals who were put in place to support his administration. This is a breaking story, and it highlights a pattern Trump continues to repeat. He regularly goes after people within his own orbit, and now that behavior is starting to push people away. At the same time, he attempts to distract the public by pointing fingers at others, even though multiple facts point directly back at him. Before getting into the latest development, it's important to remember what Donald Trump once said. He stated that as president, few decisions are more important than nominating leaders of integrity and sound judgment for trusted public offices. He specifically emphasized that one of the most critical roles is the chairman of the Federal Reserve. Despite that statement, Trump later began referring to the Federal Reserve chairman with insults, calling him too late and labeling him a terrible chairman. What makes this particularly notable is that Jerome Powell was the very person Trump himself nominated for the position. Trump publicly announced Jerome Powell as his choice for Federal Reserve chairman, expressing honor and confidence in the decision. However, not long after, Trump repeatedly criticized Powell, claiming he was doing a terrible job and costing the country large sums of money. Trump went on to say that he was surprised Powell was reappointed and blamed President Biden for extending Powell's term. What he failed to acknowledge is that he had the authority to remove Powell earlier but chose not to do so. Instead, he continues to make contradictory statements. Trump also made claims regarding a Federal Reserve building renovation, stating that the project cost had ballooned to nearly $4 billion and was massively over budget. He accused Powell of incompetence and claimed the construction costs were the highest per square foot in history. At the same time, Trump asserted that the country was taking in trillions of dollars in revenue and performing at levels never seen before. However, fact-checkers quickly pointed out a major issue with these claims. The president appeared to confuse millions, billions, and trillions, which are vastly different figures in economics. Experts clarified that the United States is not taking in trillions of dollars in tariff revenue. If it were, the government could afford far larger payouts, which it clearly cannot. These claims were labeled inaccurate and misleading. In another striking moment, Trump suggested the possibility of suing Jerome Powell for what he called gross incompetence over the Federal Reserve building project. This is an extraordinary statement, as no president has ever attempted to sue a Federal Reserve chair they personally appointed. Trump continued to argue that the buildings were small, unimpressive, and outrageously expensive, repeating claims about record-breaking construction costs without providing verified evidence. As the months of Trump's second term progress, the gap between his claims and economic reality has become increasingly visible. Prices have risen, revenue claims do not align with official data, and frustration continues to grow. Despite this, Trump repeatedly targets individuals he once trusted, criticizing them without factual support and distancing himself from his own decisions.